Hey everyone, back with another video. Today I want to talk about why your relationship between work and success is broken. Society, social media, the media in general has really broken our whole perception of working hard and success. Because why? Because what do we see in the media? What do we see in social media? All we see are success stories. Out of the 100 things that you see on social media, I bet you 99 of them are just success stories. Maybe some of them show the hard work, but the reality is even if they show a hard work, they only show a portion of it. They don't show the full sickening extent to which there is hard work for success. In fact, David Goggins mentioned this one time. He said that he didn't want a documentary to be made about his life because he said people would be so disturbed by the amount of work that he does that it would just completely ruin everything, and he thinks nobody would understand him even more. And I think this really highlights one thing, right? It highlights that while we may see Michael Jordan make his three-point shot, and we may see it again on the TV because they'll replay the highlights, we will never see the 10,000 shots he missed in practice, or the 100,000 shots he missed over his 10 years before anybody knew him. And what does this create? This creates a culture and an understanding about work that is very skewed. It's skewed towards seeing a little bit of work and seeing a lot of success. Whereas the reality, and something that would be more healthy for all of us, is to realize that work is just a part of life, and that by doing work, you do not guarantee success at all. In fact, you probably guarantee more failure than success. But by doing enough work over a long enough period of time, eventually you will become successful. Here's what I ideally wish was shown on social media and shown on TV, right? You just see people failing again and again and again, right? You see people working and working on this business idea completely goes bankrupt, right? You see people playing basketball and they just keep practicing. They keep missing. Or you see someone who wants to become a bodybuilder. They just keep going to competitions and working and fasting and dieting. They keep just failing. They don't get anything. They don't win any trophies. But do you see why that would never work? Because no one wants to watch that. But this is why nobody understands. This is why in the modern world today, nobody understands why hard work, or even they don't even understand the extent to which hard work is needed for success. It's like whatever you think your definition of hard work is, I'm telling you from now into your successful self, you're going to have to at least 10x that. Because that's just the harsh reality of something I've realized. I think in my journey, I'm obviously not successful yet, but it's like even throughout this time, these past, 4 to 5 years of just working, I've seen my own definition of hard work just change and just very, very strongly grow to the point where now what I consider hard work would probably be 10x what I used to consider hard work to be, right? And so it's like you have to develop the thickest of skins to handle the most amount of work possible. And it's crazy. It's funny because there's nothing beautiful about it. Like when we say Michael Jordan, he shot 10,000 shots and then now he's like a superstar, right? Or LeBron James, all these really well-known people, right? We always say the hard work part and we quickly gloss over it. We say, oh yeah, he did that. But then look, then he started making all these shots. Then he got all this $1 million contract. Then he got this and this and this. No. We should focus on that hard work because there's lessons in there. That's how they achieve that success. That's how they develop the mental toughness to deal with so many issues, so many failures, so many troubles, so many struggles, right? It's only by failing and working hard, though, that's the crazy thing. You will work hard and you will fail, and that will hurt so bad because you gave it your all and you still failed. Only by failing thousands upon thousands of times. Think about how many times you failed in life. If you haven't failed thousands of times, I haven't even failed thousands of times yet, right? That should be your goal. Your goal should be to work as hard as possible and then just fail. And the reason I say that is because it really sets your expectation right where they need to be. If you set your goal of I'm going to work hard and become successful, hey, breaking news, that's not going to really happen, guys. What's really going to happen is you're going to work super hard, something's going to happen, you're going to fail, and then you're going to sit there and you're going to cry and you're going to feel depressed and all this stuff. And only after that happens multiple times will you actually realize oh, okay, this is not the right way to think about stuff, right? By lowering your expectations, not in the standard of not lowering your standard for yourself, but lowering your expectations as to when you will become successful and increasing your expectations of how much work is going to take, how much time is going to take, you are actually going to create a very sustainable mindset. This is something I had to learn like the hard way. And I guarantee you it's something I'm going to tell you right now and that you guys are not going to learn. You're going to have to learn the hard way. But at least I could say I told you so. It's just like there's just so much work. And, you know, like you can sit there and just be like a baby about it and say like, I don't want to do it. But if you really want to, you know, get better, like that's what it takes. And it should be an encouraging thing because you know that through that work, you're going to gain so much. You will literally change as a human being. You will morph into a different version of yourself that you can't even recognize from before. And that's like the amazing thing. Like us humans, we are able to change. We have the capacity to really change and improve to such an extent that's almost like unrecognizable, right? But that all comes from the work. Because like I said before, every failure is a lesson. Every lesson teaches you something. For success, you need to be taught thousands and thousands of things. Success teaches you very little. Why? Because it teaches you exactly what works. But for you to do what works again and again and again, it's much, much harder to just start with what works. It's much easier to find out what doesn't work, and then you eventually can reach success. Because unless you have somebody who, you know, super successful already and they're willing to help you completely for no cost at all, which is just not realistic, you're going to have to keep failing and 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 failing until eventually you get there. But you will get there. That's the coolest part about this journey. It's such a hard journey. It's so difficult. It's going to take forever, but it will happen if you stick to it. Like guaranteed will happen. And that's really, I think, the part that should keep you up at night. It's like, what am I going to look like if I commit to this journey and in like 1 year after doing all this, or 2 years after doing all this, or like 5 years? Like you just become a completely different person. And I'm speaking from personal experience, you know? So really just stick with it, guys. Like there's so much work, right? But if you can really go back to how you view work and change the narrative that society and social media has really put on the relationship between work and success, and instead of having a little bit of work and a lot of success, view it as a ton of work and a very little amount of success, because that's really what it is. But it's like once you become successful, typically there will be just so much success that you can't even believe it. But it's behind such a huge wall of work that I guarantee you probably like 98% of people in this world will never even experience the success because they just simply won't put in the work.